Hi everybody. It's a little before 8, so I figured I'd do the videos and then I'm gonna stop at I think 9. So all right. White Arm is good for today, Friday. So we tied up some loose ends, but still have some questions because although I got my answer yesterday, they are doing dissociative identity disorder storyline. And this is not the first time that the storyline has been done, but the last time it was done, it was with Erica Slezak as Vicky, and she had a twin Nikki. Only back then they called it multiple personality disorder. And the sad part about this is usually, um, I know this because I know a bit of psychology, a bit. To have DID, you have to have had uh, some serious uh, stuff happen in a not good nature when you're a child, usually, because the alters, they're called alters now, are formed to make you deal with the trauma and to take your mind to a different spot so you don't relive the trauma on a daily basis. Now, if you want to go into it further, you can look it up for yourself because there are certain words I can't say on YouTube. But yes. Okay. So, turns out Ashley has two alters. One is herself, Ashley, and the other alter is named Bill. She has a very thick southern accent, like I was discussing yesterday, but they gave her a name today. Belle, thick southern accent, dresses very provocative to Ashley's normal style, and very flirty, and would probably drape herself over a piano while someone else is playing it. Um, and her solution to the problem is to find Ashley another love interest. So I don't know. Um, okay. So once again, Tracy is worried about Ashley and trying to convince her to go to therapy and solve it. Now, I'd say, well, you have two avenues of thought here. I mean, obviously, they're going to solve it and they're going to come to some resolution. However, you're a soap opera. So if you solve it next week, there's nowhere to go from there. But if you start trying to go to therapy, then you have to peel back the layers, and that could take a couple of months if done correctly. But even then, that's not really sufficient because when that really happens, it takes sometimes months, most times years to get to the problems and to resolve it. So, yeah. Okay. Other storylines. Devon, Devon having to deal with Nate and Lily. Only not deal with Lily, but deal with the fight they're having right now because, you know, Lily is steadfast in her decision to not give up any control or to not give up Omega Spear to Daniel, because she says yes, he provided the content, but we backed the project. So, um, I don't know. I can see both sides. Although I said, and I still stand by this, no matter what happens in your personal life, you should separate personal and business. Because if you don't, it's just going to create problems in the future. Because, okay, take it out of the soap opera for a minute. Say you and your partner right now want having great relationship first of all. Okay, that's your base. Then say one or two of you have a great idea, and you say, "Oh, we should open a restaurant. We should have a business." Okay, it's all fine when you're happy and everything's great. What happens when 5 years down the road you're not so kosher anymore, and then the guy or the other person in the relationship has a completely different idea for the business and you do not agree? Okay, if you're not on the same page romantically, you could face the problem of them not wanting to see your vision because they want to be romantically with you and they can't be anymore, or you run the risk of it being completely because they don't agree with your idea just because they don't, and then you end up with a fight on your hands, and then it could just get really dirty and really like lopsided. And let's not even talk about the greed factor, because when there's money involved, money changes people. Money, you see the real person. So, yeah. Okay. So, and Abby is trying to be uh, like a good listening ear and trying to be, you know, not neutral, not on one side or the other side. So kind of interesting. And also, we saw Tessa and Mariah today. So yay. Okay. Tessa wants, or Mariah wants Tessa to get back into singing because she knows she loves it, and but she doesn't. She wants to perform in front of audiences, but Tessa doesn't want to go on tour, so they get the brilliant idea to do a showcase in Genoa City. So that'll be great because we'll get to see Kate Fairbanks sing. And she's a great singer, by the way. Um, okay. Otherwise, we have Tucker and Audra, and to catch you guys up, if you haven't been watching the soap opera for a while, Tucker asked Audra to marry him, in which case she said no, but they're still together, or that she couldn't decide. And a lot of people made jokes about it because if you remember, Hope or Thomas asked Hope to marry him. She said, "I'm not sure." So his idea was to put the ring around her neck and to only wear it when she was really comfortable. Okay, so there were a lot of people saying that Tucker and Audra were going through the same thing, but they're not, because I think, and I know I'm a female, so I'm trying to give a perspective that's not because I think it, but I would say Audra wants to have a commitment and not necessarily a marriage, because she doesn't want the contract to be part of the relationship. Because let's be honest here, when you get into a marriage, it's legally binding and there's a contract. So if you break it, there's consequences, and the consequences are then you have to divide up your assets and um, you know, find another house, or if you have kids, you have to, decide all that stuff. So there's a lot where you don't need a marriage. And to be honest, all that happens when you get married is you now have a piece of paper, but I say, and this is coming from me for a while. Okay, first of all, there's two things. I'm not opposed to marriage. However, I think that if you think you need a piece of paper to make the relationship valid, you're in the wrong relationship to begin with. And just because you have the piece of paper doesn't mean the other person is automatically going to stay with you and or should stay with you because it depends on the situation. And I'm all for working through your issues or whatever. But if the relationship gets so bad, no, I don't think you should, you know, let go of your individuality to be in a marriage. So there you go. Okay, I think that's it. So sorry if I got a little personal there, but I've just been thinking about that lately because it's funny, you know, everybody wants you to be in a certain stage. Like, okay, say if you're single, they want you to date. Then if you're dating, they say, how serious is it? Then if you've been dating a while, they say, well, aren't you going to get married? Everybody wants to advance you to the next step. What's with like, can't we all just figure it out and like decide what we each want to do? And there's no set rule book for anything. I don't think. So those are just my thoughts on it. All right. Bye, guys.